Right, welcome back to the House Judiciary Committee. I just want to give folks an update and what we're going to try to accomplish this afternoon. So I've been working with Tom. I had a meeting with chairs of Human Services, Corrections and Institutions, and Healthcare on 193 on Tom's amendment as a further suggestion of amendment to that. And I think we have a path forward with this. We're going to have some language later today. Probably won't get it really be ready to review till tomorrow morning. The crux of it is that the language that Tom has for sections 2, 4, and 5 would be put in place and would sunset in July of 29. And then what is currently in 7.1 would go into effect on that date. So in the interim, DOC would be much more involved. And we would anticipate, hopefully soon, that they would start being able to treat people who are being held at DOC while we await a better forensic facility. So it's really a bridge to that. So caution, I'm not going to get overly optimistic because the language, I went over these issues with the chairs of those committees and conceptually they were fine. But they have to see the language, and at a minimum, Corrections and Institutions is going to walk through the language. I'm not sure if anybody beyond the chairs of the other two committees are going to look at that. So I just want to give you all an update on that. So we won't have if all goes well, we'll have it on the floor tomorrow in a manner that the Senate will very likely concur with. So that's where we are with that.
Are we voting on it?
What's that?
When are we voting on it?
We would be voting on it tomorrow as well. We'd have a straw poll on it tomorrow. Yeah, and if anybody else wants to sponsor, I'm going to probably get on as a sponsor, but I'm going to want to see the language first, and we'll distribute it to see who else might want to sponsor that amendment before it actually goes out to the floor. And there may be tweaks after the other folks look at it, but like I say, I think we're pretty close. Mm-hmm. And thanks for thanking Tom again for bringing that. So we're gonna
real quick on that one.
Yeah.
What happened with the squirrel amendment?
That's a good question. I need to look and see. I need to double check on whether that. Thank you. You had reminded me. I need to double check to see if that has an impact on that. I don't believe it does. In fact, almost certainly it doesn't. It has to do with the forensic facility. This is going to be recast not as an interim forensic facility, but as a forensic and competency restoration program within DOC. So, and that, from what I understood from Trevor, because I asked him about if DOC is going to do something in the interim while we're waiting for the forensic facility, does this apply? And he said no this morning. So I don't think we even need to. But if people are concerned, they can reach out to Trevor again. But I'm pretty confident that it does not. So we're going to look at the miscellaneous bill. We can actually take it off the.
This 937.
All right. So 937. You have an amendment. So we went over draft 7.1. We went over the version of all the additions that the Senate Judiciary Committee put on what we sent over there. Michelle went over that. We had witnesses already, so I wasn't going to go back over that ground that we've already gone over, because I think at that time I asked if there were any issues, and that there weren't any issues, and I don't think we've heard from the administration that there were issues
On miscellaneous?
No,
I was just
yeah.
talking to Jay about it.
So, but there's an additional amendment that was a floor amendment that I wanted Michelle to talk about, and then we can have a discussion, and I'm hoping to have a vote to concur with this, so maybe we can move this one along and maybe even take it off the pending notice calendar. Over to you, Michelle. All right.
For the record, Michelle Childs, Office of Legislative Counsel. And what we are looking at is, 937 passed third reading today. When I last walked you through kind of what the Senate proposal of the changes were, that was kind of going into second reading and what Senate Judiciary had passed out. But Senator Hashim offered the amendment that everybody should have in front of you and on third reading, and it was accepted. So it'll be part of the proposal that the Senate sends over to you. And I'm hoping that after all the intense, heavy, weighty, complicated legal issues y'all have been dealing with, that this will just feel like a nice, easy palate cleanser.
You're
Because
setting us up.
oh. But what it is it's actually section 1 of H 409 regarding it was a bill on bail revocation that you sent out. I think it was the first bill that y'all did, but like back in January, and you sent over to the Senate. Senate Judiciary not a fan of other parts of that bill, but this one section, section 1, is a technical amendment. So you remember last year, how can we forget, you did a really big ceiling bill, right? That had been in the works for a number of years, and you passed that and you changed the majority of things that were expungible to a ceiling process. There's a cross-reference in what you'll see here in the language here in 13 VSA 7551 having to do with bail. That is a cross-reference to the definition section of the expungible offenses. And so if you look at the language that you have here and you look at subsection B, so this talks about limitations on bail and when the court cannot impose bail. And you'll see down there at B1B, at the initial appearance or upon the temporary release pursuant to Rule 5B of a person charged with a violation of a misdemeanor offense that is eligible, and it says expungement. And then it references what I said is that definition of qualifying offenses that you did in the ceiling bill last year. Those are not expungible offenses, those are ceiling offenses. And so this is something that, I should have just kind of picked up and was a cross-reference, was not in the chapter we were dealing with. So it's just changing expungement to ceiling in these particular cases. And so there's 2 instances. One is in B1B, and then B2 is that in the event that the court does have to impose bail to mitigate the risk of flight, then they can set a maximum of $200 bail. And again, it's just changing it because it's referring to expungible offenses, and those offenses are not expungible, they're sealable.
Questions? Yeah, Ken.
Was there a vote at a committee what this was or anything?
Yeah, it was unanimous.
It was?
Well, one person or coach was not absent.
No, this came from the Senate, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I was saying the language that we had this language originally in 409.
Yes, you passed this
Yeah,
language
we-
in 409 at the beginning of the
But
year.
they're making an amendment, right?
So the Senate did not take up 409.
Okay.
Like our bill.
They chose not to act on it. And then I believe it's Representative Goodenow reached out to the Senate and said, well, could you just do this one section 1 of 409? We understand you don't like the rest of it, but can you do this one section, because it's really a technical and it's just referring to a cross-reference, and that cross-reference no longer refers to expungible offenses.
And we're all 5 of them on board with this now?
Yes.
Michelle, I'm curious, did the Senate remove any of our pieces of the miscellaneous bill? Or did it stay intact?
No, it stayed intact. The only section that was removed, you'll recall, was one section on establishing a minimum age for the penalties for underage possession of tobacco products. And the Senate took that out because S198, which I don't know where it is right now, but also was dealing with that section, but they were overhauling the whole section. And what they have wound up with is that there's no longer a penalty for underage possession. It's just for using a fake ID. And so my understanding is that Human Services Committee was like, well, it's really unlikely you're going to have a 12-year-old trying to use a fake ID to purchase cigarettes. So
basically that is going to be taken care of. So-
exactly.
But
right.
everything else.
Everything else.
Tax and
It is.
everything. Cool.
Yeah, they didn't make any changes to, they didn't take anything out. It's all there.
Great.
Mhm.
Sort of unrelated, I just made an observation there, sort of literal. In A above B where you crossed out expungement on line 16. If the person was cited for the offense. Somewhere along the line. They've been training people to give citations to people they put in jail. For some strange reason. So
So I would interpret this is that, so rule 3 I don't need to tell you, but rule 3 provides for offenses for which you cite and you may not arrest unless you have a warrant. And so,
what I'm just trying to say is it's been a training failure or something. Police
okay, you're not
officer.
saying there's a. you're
Well,
concerned
no,
about
not
the
really, but I
language.
mean, it says cited or just said, to me, it's like released on a citation. Makes more sense. That's all. I don't know what rule 3 exactly says about citations.
It makes the distinction about when you can arrest without a warrant specifically. And so if you're not within, it's not a misdemeanor that occurs in the presence of the officer.
It could be used in a felony as well. It could be-
Yes, but it's about whether or not you may arrest without the warrant. So the things that you cannot arrest without a warrant are things that you must cite. So this is referring to the person was cited for the offense. So
But released.
that's what I would interpret. If you want to go down there, happy to talk to you about that over the summer.
No, I understand. I'm just hoping that maybe anybody who's looking to become a police officer in the near future, I'm going to give people citations when they put them in jail.
Percent down, okay?
But presumably they could be held on bail and then the bail cap would still apply, right?
And the what?
The bail cap would still apply, right? So they could be held on $200 bail when they're arrested and then they've been cited and then
Well, no, you don't need to give them a citation because it's in the conditions of release to court to court. And if they're lodged, their condition will say report to court
yeah, I guess that's what you're saying.
for arraignment. It's trying to remove confusion,
Mhm.
but it's already too late.
Tom's here still with us.
So
Amendment.
question for you, Michelle, is when would we expect to actually get it's from the Senate? I mean, it's pending notice calendar. We could actually take it off pending notice calendar. If this is not, which I think that's the case.
You mean like when could you act on it? Is this, so usually the Senate holds a day. I don't know if they are just,
So was just third
Putting-
reading today?
today was third reading, but I don't know whether or not they're.
So we need to probably have it.
Pardon?
We probably should have it over from the Senate before we vote. So.
Well, probably, yes. But I can check on, there's a lot of rule waivers, things are moving quickly right now.
But they would have had to suspend rules to notice it immediately to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine, I think. Yeah.
No, the bug still in front of me. Like that.
So. And, all right, thank you. So we will. Get the bill before.
If I clapped, I wanted to probably say thank you.
This gives everybody a chance to re-familiarize themselves if they want. All right, thank you.
Sure.
So the next is 606, and it's maybe just more of a discussion as far as, I guess I have a question for Todd or Charlie, or if you identify yourself correctly, but so we went over and had a lot of testimony on draft number 1.1, which was the draft as passed by the Judiciary Committee to the Senate. Did anything change on the floor in second and third reading? I hadn't heard that there was. So, I mean, I think that because we do have possession of this one, I understand. You don't check.
You're not instilling confidence in.
Well, I was just asked of whether we could, the things to take off the notice calendar or pending notice calendar, and both these bills were mentioned. And so, I'm just gonna double check to see where precisely this is. So until, I need to make sure that we have the right thing. So we're gonna go offline. I guess we can go on the floor and I'll call folks back or we just deal with it in the morning. But I do understand it's passed out, but I just haven't seen that we have this over here yet. And Karen's telling me, despite other people telling me to try to move things along,
Dot our i's, cross our t's.
yes, we will. So we are adjourned until further notice. I know that folks probably only have until like 4:15 today. But if for some reason I find out I have it in my hand, what we can vote on, I will gather us and, but let me ask first, do we need more testimony? I asked
On
Tom
what?
and
Which
Tom
one?
on 606. I asked these folks and it seems like we've had the testimony. Unless Charlie really wants the testimony because we didn't get her a chance yet.
perfectly
But I think that your issues were well covered by Carolyn. So, all right, so we'll go, I guess, on the floor and if I will contact folks. Otherwise, we will be meeting at 9.